Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and you just knocked over something. Are you alright? This just got so chaotic. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Autumn and this vlog is going to be week 3 of NaNoWriMo. That was just very chaotic for the first 30 seconds. My cat knocked something off of the coffee table and our washer was having a moment. But we're fine now. Everything's good. Everyone's fine. This week, I am starting this vlog a little bit late into the week. It's Thursday and I have only gotten in one other sprint on a different day this week. I wrote a little bit on the 14th and I wrote 638 words. I'm not super proud of those words only because I wrote them while I was on break at lunch, so I don't feel like the quality of those words were the best, but I wanted to try and get something written at some other time this week. I wrote a little bit of chapter 12. It was really just one quick little scene. I like the scene. I think I could have written it better, and I think in the future when I go back and I'm editing and working on future drafts of this story, I can make that scene a lot stronger, but it's fine for now. Just trying to get the words, trying to get the story written. If you know anything about me or if you've been following my journey for a while, when I actually sit down and I have some really solid writing sprints, I can write pretty quickly. I'm not overly concerned about being this far behind. I think I can catch up to what the daily word count recommendation is. I really think I can. So this week I think that's gonna be the goal, is to write more extra to try and get my daily word count back down to the 1,667 words. And I think I can do it. I know I've only got 3-ish days left of this week before we enter the 4th week of November. I can do it. I am not concerned. I have a few hours that are set aside for today that I can work on my story. It's only 9:40. We've got plenty of time. So I'm gonna jump into my first sprint here in a minute. In this story, I am still working on chapter 10. I have one more scene that I want to put in this chapter before I jump to chapter 11, but I'm already in Act 2, the very start of Act 2. I am really excited to get my characters in chapter 11 to get them to the destination that they need to reach in order for us to meet some Act 2 characters. And these Act 2 characters, while they're not outlined, I don't have character profiles for any of them. I am really excited to see how they're going to test my main characters and how they're going to mess up this plot. I'm really excited to see how they're gonna help turn this story around and provide more of a fresh take for my characters and for the story. So I can't wait to start introducing those characters and for us to learn more about our main characters and the struggles that they're also experiencing. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the first sprint today. It's gonna be about 2 hours, so I'll probably check in with you guys maybe around noon once I get everything going. So I will see you then and give you the update. I haven't done any writing because I'm still setting up everything, but I forgot to say my starting word count for this vlog is 16,101 words. Hopefully I can break 20,000 words today. That would be a lot of words to write. That might be a little too much, but I'm gonna go for it. We're gonna try it. We're gonna try to pass the 20,000 words, which is a little less than 4,000 words I think that I need to write today, but let's do it. I can do it. I can totally do this. I'm definitely not trying to boast like at all. But it's a little past noon already, and I wrote in 3 30-minute writing sprints. So in total, I ended up writing for 1 hour and 30-ish minutes. These 3 writing sessions have honestly probably been the best writing session so far. I loved this part of Act 2. I wrote about 4 scenes. It was 2 chapters. So I finished up chapter 10, wrote all of chapter 11, and I am gonna start chapter 12 later today. These 3 writing sessions, absolutely phenomenal. So I haven't introduced any Act 2 characters yet, but my 2 main characters and then my 2 other secondary characters, they have just reached the city. So for the first half of this story, they're doing a lot of traveling. We're seeing a lot of the world and how the world outside the city is. I feel like I mentioned this in all of my videos, especially since Preptober, where I don't focus a lot on doing world building up front. I like to discover the world, everybody who lives in this world, as I write the first draft. I have been having so much fun experimenting with this world building, and what my main goal for the first half of this story, not half, but the first almost 20,000 words of this story, I have been trying to show how the world is outside of the city. Because once they get to the city, it's gonna be very different from everything else that they've been experiencing. I just said that I wrote several scenes and 2 or 1.5 chapters. Word count, in total, for those 3 sprints, I wrote 2,770 words. For each of these sprints, the first sprint I did, I wrote 694 words. My second sprint, I wrote 983 words. And for my third sprint today, I wrote 1,093 words for the total of 2,770 words. Phenomenal. Loving it. I am definitely gonna past 20,000 words today in order to hit 20K and to finish writing, like trying to hit the 4,000 words that I wanted to get today. I only need 1,129 words. I can totally get that later today. It's a little bit later than I wanted it to be for me to jump into another sprint. I am going to write hopefully for about an hour. It's 8:30 now, so I'll probably check in with you guys in an hour. And I think by that time, I will have hit the 4,000 words that I wanted to write today, and I should be passing the 20K mark. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump into that sprint. I went a little crazy with this last writing sprint. I wrote for 45 minutes. It's almost 10 o'clock. Oh, well, let me back up. I have been, I guess, technically writing for almost an hour and a half. I did one 30-minute sprint. I took like a 15-minute break, and then I wrote for about 45 minutes. It's almost 10 p.m. and I am definitely gonna be done for tonight. But the verdict is in. I passed my 4,000 word count goal. I passed 20,000 words, and I finished chapter 12 in the best way. I did 2 writing sprints. The first one, my little warm-up one, I wrote 477 words. I wrote chapter 11. I think I was writing a little bit of chapter 11 earlier today, but I wrote that chapter, and I think I finished that chapter in the first sprint. Took a little break, and then I wrote for 45 minutes. For that sprint, I wrote 1,466 words, and that chapter and that sprint was phenomenal. For my total today, I wrote 4,730 13 words. I almost wrote 5,000 words today. That's pretty crazy. And my manuscript has a total word count of 20,814 words. And that's pretty crazy too. I wrote a couple of chapters, a few scenes. The way I ended this chapter, I ended it with us being introduced to a second act character who's going to be a pretty important character. I ended it with this scene where it's similar, it's not exactly, but it's similar to a one bed situation, and I'm really loving this because stakes are high, tension is high, the characters have been traveling all day, so they're all tired, it's nighttime, they're hungry, and so then they make it to where they need to be. We're introduced to the second act character, and it's close quarters, one bed type situation, and I am loving it. That's gonna be it for today's update. So when I see you guys tomorrow, I'm going to be starting on chapter 13, and we're in the fun and games of it now. Now that they've reached their destination, we can start to see how everything is done in this part of the continent or this part of the world. I had some great writing sessions for today. So good afternoon. I have not done any writing today. It was a little bit of a busy morning. We had some people come out to upgrade our computer system, and I ended up also slicing my finger with the knife. It's been a day. I have about an hour before I need to take little man over there to the vet for a checkup. I want to write for about 30 minutes. If I can write about 1,000 words, that would be great. I am pretty excited because where the last chapter ended, chapter 12 is going to be so freaking fun. I cannot wait to continue writing. I am just gonna go ahead and jump into that 30-minute sprint. Today has been a little bit of a chaotic day. I did end up writing a little bit, but I didn't give you guys an update like right after it happened. I did 2 little mini writing sprints. They were like 15-20 minutes each, and in total I ended up writing 513 words. I don't know why I was saying I was on chapter 12 because I'm on chapter 13. I still am at the very first part of chapter 13, 513 words into that chapter, so we still have a lot to write for this one chapter. I left off at a really good place for me to just jump right back into it. So that's what I'm gonna go do now. I want to write for another couple of hours, try to hit the daily word count today, and if I can write a little bit more than that, that would be great. So I will check in with you guys later. Update on my finger. It doesn't hurt, but it's inconvenient. I am pausing my writing session just for a moment to give you guys this update. And I'll be totally honest, I'm struggling through this writing session tonight. I don't know if it's because I'm tired. I don't know if it's because I'm feeling a little bit anxious. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'm happy that I'm having the time to sit down and write, and I have the time, and I'm very happy and I'm very grateful for that. But this is not my best writing session. I'm still getting words, I'm still doing the things, but today has just kind of been hitting me a little bit different, and everything is fine, everything's good, we're all well. Sometimes we just have those days where we feel a little bit low, and I guess it's just one of those days, but it's okay because I'm still making progress even though it's very slow. I just spent the last hour puttering around and procrastinating a little bit because I didn't just want to sit down and write. But I can't afford to let myself do that. I had to write, and I did. I broke this up into 2 writing sessions so far tonight. Just now, for the last hour, I wrote 742 words. I'm still on chapter 13. I'm still on the same scene. I do love this scene. I'm just not vibing. It has nothing to do with the story, but I'm just trying to push through it. I'm trying to work through it to the best I can. So far today, my total is 1,259 words. I wanted to give one more final update today before I go to bed. I did not write another sprint tonight. I wasn't feeling it, and I think I know why I wasn't feeling it. So I knew that there was something, like in the back of my mind, I knew there was something that I had to do. Not today, but tomorrow. I have to get up early tomorrow and do a whole bunch of errands and things like that in the morning. I think that was weighing on me, and work was also weighing on me. We're not even gonna go down that road because it doesn't matter. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm coming to terms with the way I was feeling. We're just gonna try again tomorrow. So today was not a big heavy word day, and that's just how it's gonna have to be. It's almost midnight, so I am gonna get going to bed because I do have to get up in like 6.5 hours, which I normally sleep 6.5 hours, but it's the principle of the thing. When you have to sleep 6.5 hours, you want to sleep for 10, or at least that's how it is for me. So it is the last day of NaNoWriMo, and I have not written since the 17th. Are we shocked? Absolutely not. Are we disappointed? Perhaps. So I am currently sitting at 22,073 words for the entire month of November. I went into the month of November knowing I probably wasn't going to hit 50,000 words, but I at least wanted to try to hit 25,000 words, to write half of the story. I really want to do that. In order to at least hit that halfway point in my story, I need 2,927 words. On a day where I feel like I could do that, I feel like I could definitely do that. I don't think that's going to be happening today. I'm trying to be honest with myself and you. I really want to get to that, but I don't think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna be done for the month, and I think that's what my word count is going to end up being. I was going to do a wrap up tomorrow, and I think I'm still going to do a wrap up once we're totally finished with November. I'll come back tomorrow and do a full recap of the month, just in case if at some point today I do end up writing a little bit and I have something to report. But I think we're done attempting the 50,000 word for this month. I feel like it was still a successful month, even though I was not able to hit the 50,000 words, and I didn't even hit the halfway point that I wanted to. I knew that this was going to happen because always the second half of the month is just way more chaotic than the first half. And I really wanted to finish this story before the year ended, at least write 50,000 words, because that's what I want this first draft to be. Next month in December, I am going to try my best and try to write at least as much as I've written this month, so maybe about 20,000 words, so then I can need maybe about 10,000 words in January to finish up this manuscript. So I think that's what we're going to aim for with this project for the rest of the year / a little bit in January, but I'll talk a little bit more about that in a future video. I wanted to at least do one more update before I sit down tomorrow and film the wrap-up portion of this video. I'm feeling all right. I'm feeling okay. I'm still absolutely in love with this story, and I've been having a lot of fun with all of the writing sessions. While it's been 13 days since I have written anything with this project, I don't like that. I don't like that I've gone 2 weeks without touching this project, without opening up the document. So I think today what I just want to do is open the document and read through it a little bit, remember where I was in the story. If I feel compelled to write a little bit today, I totally will, but I have a feeling that I'm just going to review the document, remember where I was going with the story, and then maybe pick up in the beginning of December. I will give a full wrap up tomorrow, which you guys will see in just a few minutes, I'm sure. That's it for the final day of NaNoWriMo. Are we ready for the final update, the wrap up of what I did, everything I did and did not do for the month of November? Long story short, which I'm sure you can figure out by now, I did not write 50,000 words this month. I didn't quite hit the 25,000 mark either, that I was also aiming for, that I felt like was a much better goal for me to attempt to reach. While I did not hit either of those two goals, I will say that these writing sessions I had this month were some of the best writing sessions that I have probably had all year. I really like the way that I chose to structure my writing sessions. This year, I really learned a lot about my writing, and I learned that I do better in scheduling big blocks of time and writing casually throughout those blocks of time. And what I mean by that is, instead of sitting down to do a 20-minute sprint or a 25-minute sprint and writing as much as I can in that 25 minutes, what I have discovered works better for me, at least in this season of my life, and at least with this story, is setting aside 2 hours of my day and then writing casually throughout that time. And if I need to get up and stretch, get some water, maybe grab a snack or something like that, I can go do that for about 5 or 10 minutes. Then I come back and I will finish up the writing session. I noticed that that worked a lot better for my writing style, and that was something I discovered writing in the month of November. So for the month of November, I ended up finishing with 22,073 words. And in my story, I am 13 chapters down. So in my next writing session, I'll be starting chapter 14, and I am in Act 2. I think I'm a little bit into Act 2, kind of in that fun and games section if you follow Save the Cat, the whole beat sheet thing. I know where I last left off. I'm really excited to get to dive into more of like a romance subplot, but there's also some tension that's growing between my two main characters that I will get to play around with. I will also get to establish a little bit more in this magic system. There is somewhat of a mystery trope that's kind of surrounding my characters, so they are going to be figuring out some things that have to do with this mystery. I feel like by far this is the strongest first draft I've written this year. It's not perfect. By no means is this first draft perfect. However, this draft feels a lot stronger. This was also the first time I have attempted to write something that was outside of a dark fantasy. This story is a cozy fantasy, so it's a very low stakes, very chill story, and I have been having a lot of fun writing this story and really discovering my love for writing cozy fantasies. I can see myself writing another cozy fantasy in the future after I finish this draft, after I decide what I would like to do with this story. I could see myself writing another story like this, a very low stakes, cozy, casual type fantasy story. The last day I wrote in the month of November was the 17th, and I live in the United States, so we have Thanksgiving. It's always the same time every year. This time it just did not align with my work schedule. I worked the first half, and then we had family come over for the second half of the week, and I just couldn't quite get back onto the writing wagon. I had a lot of family come into town, family that I haven't seen in a while because they've been overseas. I really just wanted to enjoy the time that I had with my family for that short amount of time I was gonna have to spend with them. I didn't end up writing for the last 13, 14 days of the month. It is what it is. I knew that was going to happen. That was why I tried to get a jump at the beginning of the month. And I think if the month of November wasn't how it was, I think I really could have gotten the 50,000 words. I did push myself that first half of the month, but it's just always such bad timing. I feel like with the holidays, I am still planning to finish this project for the rest of this year and probably a little bit into January. I am so stoked to get back to working on this project. Even though I've been away from this story for 13, 14 days, I definitely miss it, and I can't wait to get back. It was just one of those breaks that my writing needed and that I needed, and while I was gone on my break, some shady ass shit was going on. I don't know a whole lot other than what I've seen on social media and what I have read in forums, and there are two author tubers in our community who have addressed this issue, Kelly Ty and Meredith E. Phillips. I'm gonna leave their channels linked down below, as well as the links that they have provided in their video. And then I think Kelly, I don't think hers was a video, I think she did it as a community post If you're not aware of the things that have been surrounding NaNoWriMo and the organization, I highly recommend you check out those links and watch Meredith's video because she does a fantastic job talking about it, much better than I could do here. And when I found out about it, it was when I was in like those 13 days of me not writing. So it all kind of worked out to where I was busy while I discovered these things were going on with the organization. While I'm still gonna write my story, I'm still going to finish my project, I just didn't want to keep updating on the website because it all kind of freaked me out a little bit. With me saying that, check out those links down below. That's all I'm gonna say about it because that's all I really know. My final thoughts on my project, which is called Project Traveling Bards. This is such a lighthearted, fun, cozy story, and I absolutely love the friendship between the brother and the sister of the story. This project is by far my most lighthearted story I have ever written. Like I mentioned, I have written a lot of darker topics, and while there are still topics in this story like of abandonment and found family and things like that, where my characters have to recover from certain things, while those are topics that I feel like can be sensitive topics, the way these characters handle it and the way that it shapes them, I feel like it takes a lighter tone to the story. I'm really excited to keep writing this story, to expand on the world, and to get into this love story that is in the story. I'm really excited for that. What are my plans for the future with this project? For December, I plan to write some more of this project. I think I'm going to aim between 15 and 20,000 words. Since I wrote 22,000 words in the month of November, I think I can get about that this month, and I'll just have to see how it goes. Hopefully in January, I'll only need about 10 to 12,000 words left of this project before I'm finished with it. I still want the first draft to be about 50,000 words because that was how I plotted and I structured and outlined this story, as I wanted it to have 50,000 words, and that's what I am still sticking to. I need, what is that, 28-ish thousand words left that I need for this project. So hopefully between December and January, I can go ahead and get the first draft written of this project. One last thing before we go. I'm very excited to announce that I am going to be attempting, for the first time ever, vlogmas. The 12 days of vlogmas. Let's not get too wild and crazy. We're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. The way I'm planning on doing this is to post 12 vlogs in the month of December. We'll see how that goes. I'm kind of cheating and I'm gonna use this video as the first video in vlogmas. I'm not gonna have all of my fun little vlogmas things at the beginning of this video, but for the other videos in vlogmas, they're gonna have fun and cute little intros for the 12 days of vlogmas. That was the final update I wanted to tell you guys about. Let me know how your November went, if you hit the goals that you had set out for yourself. Let me know all of those details down in the comments below. But that's gonna be it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and if you haven't and you want to be part of my writing journey, I would absolutely love to have you here. I am Autumn Ashley, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.